I love cinnamon buns, but I wanted to make them with a twist. So I used cardamom and pistachios and glazed them with a thick rosewater sugar syrup. These melt in your mouth rose buns will stick in your head for days after you try them. I love how simple, straightforward, and fail-safe this recipe is. You do need a mixer for this recipe, but you can also use your hands if you don't have one. It's just going to take more work. So let's do it. First, let's bloom our yeast. To 1 cup lukewarm milk, around 90 Fahrenheit or 32 Celsius, add 1 tablespoon dry yeast. Mix the yeast with the milk and let it sit for a few minutes, watching for bubbles to form at the top. While the yeast is blooming, let's make tangzon, which is a flour roux that will help our buns become even softer. To make the tangzon, combine 20 grams, about 1.5 tablespoons, of flour with 100 grams or 3/4 cup milk. Warm up over medium-low heat, whisking continuously until it forms up to a pudding-like texture. Should take about 2 to 3 minutes. Then set aside to cool down to room temperature. Tangzon is done. Now let's grind some cardamom. The taste of cardamom combined with cinnamon and sugar is just going to blow your mind. Trust me, it's that simple and that good. What we're looking for is to release the cardamom seeds from the pods and grind them, leaving us with about 2 tablespoons. I just love the smell of cardamom. Okay, now let's combine the dry ingredients first. Starting with 4 cups or 550 grams bread flour, 80 grams or 2/3 cup granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon salt, and 1 teaspoon ground cardamom. And whisk all the dry ingredients. Let's get to the wet ingredients, starting with 2 large eggs, the milk and yeast, and the tangzon. Place the bowl with the mixer and secure the dough hook. Turn the mixer on low, Mach 1, for 2 minutes. Then stop the mixer and add the butter. Continue to mix on low, Mach 2, for about 8 to 10 minutes until the dough looks shiny and smooth. Okay, the dough is ready. Now let's dust our work surface with some flour and work the dough for about 2 to 3 minutes, folding it and turning it into a ball. I can already tell you that the smell I'm getting from the butter and cardamom in the dough is so intoxicating. Now let's place the dough in a buttered bowl. I just use a butter spray. Cover with plastic wrap and place in a warm corner. I place it in my microwave or oven with the light on. I'm going to give the dough time to double in size, which should take about 1 to 1.5 hours. While the dough is resting, let's get the filling ready. In a bowl, combine 1.5 tablespoons cinnamon with 1 cup brown sugar and 1.5 tablespoons or 22 grams ground cardamom. Now, let's roughly chop 30 grams or 1/4 cup roasted pistachios for the filling and garnish. Let's bring back the dough, which by now has doubled in size. Take out the captured air, my favorite part. Then dust the work surface with flour and then scrap the dough onto the surface. Now we need to flatten the dough into a rectangle, roughly 20 by 14 inches or 50 by 35 centimeters. And also make sure the dough is about 1/4 inch or 1/2 centimeter thick. We don't want the dough to be too thin so it can tear, or too thick, which will turn it too doughy. Now let's get 100 grams or 6 tablespoons of softened butter. To get softened butter, you should leave butter in room temperature at the beginning of the day. Do not use the microwave to rush this process. Patience is a virtue here, a virtue that will pay off in just a bit. Sprinkle the sugar mix evenly over the butter and then top with chopped pistachio. To roll the dough, first fold in the dough bottom edge. Then continue to roll the dough, imitating the action of using a rolling pin. Press the dough lightly as you roll it, using the palm of your hands. Try to keep the roll as tight as you can for a better baking result. Then make sure the seam is face down. Using a serrated knife, remove both dough corners, creating an even log. I use a system where I first cut the log in half and then into quarters. Then cut each quarter into roughly 2-inch slices. You should be left with 9 to 11 beautiful rose buns. Now place the rose buns cut side down in an oven-proof pan over a greased parchment paper. I like to start at the center with one rose. I usually pick the nicest one. And then circle it with the other roses, creating a flower-shaped rose bun. Cover with plastic wrap and rest for 45 minutes to an hour until the roses double in size. Then bake in a 350° Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius preheated oven for 25 minutes or until buns turn golden in color. While the buns are baking, let's prepare the glaze. It's really a simple sugar glaze with a small twist: rose water. Easily found in Mediterranean markets or online, which I will leave a link to in the description. In a small pan, combine 1 cup sugar and 1/2 cup water. Then add 1 teaspoon rose water. Bring to boil, stirring continuously until sugar dissolves and liquid turns clear. Then set aside to cool. Remove pan from oven and set on a rack. Just look at that. Now top with the rose water sugar glaze and the chopped pistachios. Okay, let's try it. I've been dying to try one. The smell of the buns baking drove me crazy. Check out the caramelization at the bottom. Sugar goodness. It's so soft, it's like melting in my hand. Look at that. Wow. The taste of the cinnamon and the sugar, and then the hint of cardamom. It's just so good. I need more of this. Now go ahead and try them yourself and let me know how it worked for you. And please don't forget to subscribe before that sugar and cardamom rush. See you next week.